What's up, everybody? It's Matt Schmitt here. I'm excited to have my buddy Eric over here, the owner of Shine On. We are in the facility here, if you can see behind us, making sure that we give you the inside peek into something that we think is really special. I've known Eric for a while now, I think a couple of years, and I've seen him grow. If you can tell, the facility behind me is pretty substantial. It's a big facility, and I want to talk a lot about it because this is really critical for you as a seller of Shine On products to really have kind of an inside look into the ownership and our kind of discussion around why we think this is such a good product for your customer. You are our customer, and we are worried about our customer's customer here. And we are going to get right from the source here exactly why Shine On is a great product for you to sell. So, Eric, what's going on, buddy?
Hey,
it's good to see you.
So cool that you're here.
I know, man.
It took many years, but
many
finally
years.
made it.
Yeah, there's been a big, COVID and a couple of babies on my end break here, but I'm back down after a couple of years, and I'm excited to be here, man. You have grown in the last 2 years, for sure.
Yeah, the biggest growing point was actually during COVID last year.
Yeah.
We were up in New Jersey, and I think our orders 5x'd in
wow,
just around Mother's Day.
Yeah.
But we had all these restrictions up there in Jersey with COVID. It was really bad. And we honestly had to work at night, and whatever it took to just get the orders out.
Yeah.
And so I decided, coming up to Q4 last year, that was not going to work being in Jersey. We were going to get hammered with restrictions, and so we moved down here to Florida, where there's a lot more freedom for business. And so it's been the best move we ever made.
That's perfect, man, because I think that was probably a difficult move, right? And a lot of things going on there, but it was the right move for your sellers, and then the people who are wearing your product and buying the product from your sellers.
And just the people we have here, it's amazing.
Yeah. And I want to talk about that because something I've learned from my mentor is that there's a lot of value in what would be called the inconvenient, right? And just provided a reason why you did something that was probably, in some respects, inconvenient, maybe something that somebody wouldn't take. And there was a lot of value that came out of that. It allowed you to scale and allowed the success of your sellers and the people who are wearing these products to be happy. So one thing that I've also learned, I was talking about this a little bit before, is that if the people can see behind me is there's people manually doing this. And I think that is super important because there's a touch on there. There's a level of care, I think, that you can't get out of an automated machine. You just simply can't. Yeah. And talk a little bit about that, why that's important to you, and what value does that bring?
So sort of the thing, our differentiator as a company is that we have a focus on personalization.
Yep.
And so most of the personalization elements, you can't really automate with machines.
Sure.
You can automate the process and the systems to make it more efficient, but at the end of the day, you still have to replace a birthstone by hand.
Right.
You still have to set up a lot of the personalized engraving by hand. And so that's really difficult to do. Most people, they don't want to get into personalization because there's so many barriers to entry.
Sure.
And so for us, though, that provides a lot of value it's a product that buyers want.
Yep. And
it's a high margin product.
Right.
And it's also evergreen.
Yeah.
And so if we just focus on doing the hard things that nobody else wants to do, we'll win long term. Our sellers will win long term.
Right.
And so that's how we innovate, is through personalization.
That's great. Yeah, the personalization, man, the touch on that is phenomenal. And you're right. I mean, I've been selling stuff for whatever, it feels like it's been 20 years now. I've made many jumps into personalization. You guys easily have the best, if not one of the best in the industry, levels of doing that. I think what you do beautifully too is the levels, right? So I love thinking in leveling up, right? So we were just looking at the boxes that you have and how you said you have a 40% take rate on something like that.
Yeah.
And it's worth it because now I've held the box in my hand. I hadn't held the box in my hand before. And I think a lot of people who may be watching this should maybe take an order sample or get something in hand and order one of their own products so they truly understand. Because once you understand what it is, I think it brings that value that you can translate into your marketing.
Yeah.
And make sure that people who are, I was talking about in the course that, who you are selling to is not necessarily the end user of the product for a lot of things in China, right? So the job of the marketer needs to translate not only to the buyer, but it needs to flow all the way through to the end user. And I think the stuff that you have here is really when you put it in hand, it makes it makes sense in a way.
Yeah, so I think we're way different than any other print-on-demand company,
Sure.
just based on like what we're doing in our leadership meetings. So like Deep, who's here, he's our data guy, our database guy. He just sent out a KPI report. So every week we're reviewing like what's the average order value across all of the sellers? What is the units per order, right? What's the average number of upsells per order people are doing?
Yeah.
And so we're actually like doing that work on behalf of sellers, right? So we're actually researching what would be the perfect upsell product for each niche, right? And so we're starting to bring in more of those upsell products. So we're like hardcore about maximizing the value of that customer,
Right.
Especially on the front end, right? We have to get that as high as possible to sort of combat the rising Facebook ad costs.
Sure.
And so, yeah, like that mahogany box was a great example. That was average upsell is like $20 plus $20, and people take it at 40% take rate.
Yep.
And so, yeah, it's like 10 additional dollars AOV every time.
And that's cool because that's like the flip side of what I've been telling people. It's like you have to look, as a marketer, you have to look at yourself as a person who is solving a problem, right? And you're just talking about how you're solving a problem for the marketer, right? And giving them a great offer that they can help battle the rising ad costs.
Yeah.
And then you're at the same time that just completely correlates with what the marketer's doing, which is solving the problem. I like with jewelry, I'm telling people, say Mother's Day, for example, right? You're showing appreciation for your mother, who's working incredibly hard. But at the same time, your mom is feeling like, she wants to be appreciated on that day. Call it society or whatever, right? That day is a day of, I'm going to get something, and my appreciation, all the hard work that I've had is going to be shown, right? So it's cool just to see that like every level of this, you were thinking about solving a problem, and the marketer gets to think about the same exact thing of how am I providing the best possible thing for my sellers, and then we're thinking about how do I provide the best possible thing for my buyers and then the end user of that as well.
I mean, I think just me and you are a good combination. I mean, and SKUP, Jewelry Profits, because like we're thinking about products, like what are the new products we can develop, and then you're thinking about training, like how do we sell these? So we're constantly kind of going back and forth. We're actually learning from each other too.
Absolutely.
And a lot of the product ideas we get are from people like you and the sellers out there.
Yeah, because we're always looking for the best opportunity. I like to think of how do I best provide in a scenario that already exists and somebody's already potentially buying, how do I provide the best possible product? I've sold whatever amount of t-shirts, like millions of dollars worth of t-shirts. Unit-wise, I have no idea. But I was thinking about, okay, what's the best and easiest thing that I could provide to a guy that's wearing a shirt, right, who's being outspoken to the world? Well, a hat. It's pretty much the same thing, like the hat you're wearing, right? So it's outspoken to the world. You can have a design on it. You're translating a message to the rest of the world.
We call it the Product Olympics. So every week it's like 10 to 12 products that are competing against each other.
That's cool.
And so and those are all winners. We've already identified that they're winners. So we're taking the winners of the winners before we actually launch it. And so that just saves really people time and money. Another thing that I think that's important and sort of different in the personalized product space is we're really big into family gifting, right? And family, it's a huge audience, right? 95% of people have families,
right?
And so basically, the addressable audience is literally everybody. And then within family, you have all the sub niches, the relationships. You have husband to wife, you have dad to daughter, dad to son, mom to daughter. So it's sort of endless, right? And so I think that's a bit different than traditional t-shirts and hats where most people are getting something that represents themselves.
Right.
We're sort of in a slightly different niche in that we're sort of making gifts for one person in the family to give to the other.
Right.
And so I think there's tremendous opportunity because instead of one person buying it for themselves, they have 4 or 5 other people that they can buy for.
Yes. Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. Especially around like, a big occasion like Christmas or something like that. I think I talked about that actually in the course where I have, say, Mother's Day. Like we'll talk about, because Mother's Day is a huge, obviously a big day, right? And big relationship day. But I have my mom, my mother-in-law, my wife, obviously is a mom, and then my sister-in-laws are moms. And, you know, could have some aunts, could have some, you know, there's tons of moms in my life. And people need to think about, it's not just about the one mom, right? And then if you should add to the right person too, right? A grandma, and then, you know, that's the mom, and there's generations to it in the relationships as well. So I think it's really cool what you guys are doing. I think the relationship space, like you said, is obviously massive. 95% of everyone. So
has at least one family member.
Yeah, so that's hundreds of millions of people in the United States alone.
Yeah.
What about something on top of these, you know, Mother's Day, Father's Day? What else do you guys see? I mean, I think probably two things out of my mind are there's a birthday happening every single month.
Yeah.
Probably every single day, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Because it's so many people. But so that would be something that probably would sell pretty well year round if somebody does the product right. And anniversaries would be too. Is there anything else that you think that you would not to give away anything, but like to say like what would people have to maybe elaborate on their thought process? Not just about Mother's Day or Father's Day. It's
I think we have a lot of sellers that do jump in. Like if they want to make $1 million around Christmas, great. Or they want to make $1 million around Mother's Day, great. I actually think our stuff is proven to sell consistently around those gifting holidays, Valentine's Day. But as far as like evergreen stuff, personalized products are some of the best products you can sell. I think there's like companies like Personalization Mall and Things Remembered who are in the mall, and they wouldn't just be like they wouldn't have stores if they weren't able to sell all year round.
Yeah.
And so, yes, birthdays, anniversaries, we call them like micro holidays, I guess. Birthdays, anniversaries, stuff that is not reliant on Christmas or Mother's Day or New Year's or whatever.
I think people just got to be a little bit creative and think about outside the box or something like that. You never know what occasion, work anniversaries, there's all sorts of kinds of things that and you can target these things as well, which is great. You know, you can target people with upcoming birthdays and stuff like that. And then it's all about your positioning in the market too. But yeah, when you get those massive windfall events, then what we tell people in the course is like, then think about how do I take that same buyer list or that same collection of people I just got and make sure that they're utilized for the next day and the next day by solving those problems and taking care of my customer. Because it's year round, right? Everybody has a need year round. And I think print on demand is one of the most powerful things. Every time I say like you're solving someone's needs, they're like, how are you solving somebody's needs with a necklace? But you are. If you think about it, because those relationships, everyone, especially now with COVID, everybody wants to feel that level of connection and appreciation in a world that's kind of crazy. But year round in normal world too, it works really, really, really well.
Yeah. So I noticed like you're either solving a problem somebody has, or you're triggering an emotion.
For sure.
Right. And so with our product,
either could be the same too, for sure.
Yeah, we say crying equals buying here. We also say crying equals cash. And we also say the riches are in the niches.
The riches are in the niches, for sure, yeah.
But if you can get somebody to cry, we actually found that more words on a message card product sells better than less words.
Okay.
And that's because it's more poetic.
Yeah.
And if you trigger somebody's emotion, they'll want to buy the item to give to somebody else so that person can experience it.
Yeah.
And so, just if you focus on getting people to cry, they'll buy.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool because I don't think we've ever talked about that. That's exactly what I tell people to do and the best way of getting lowering your ad costs on Facebook is getting an emotion and some kind of emotion out of the ad, right? POD on shirts, all about humor. But yeah, if it's a necklace or some kind of intimate product, some kind of emotion towards the sentimental or the crying, so to speak, making them remember or something like that. A really cool product I saw was a creative angle. It was to the mother of the bride on the daughter giving it to the mother of the bride, so her mom. But like that's a huge day that I didn't really think about, and a huge opportunity I didn't really think about up until this point, right? So, but I saw that product, I'm like, it's a really good angle. Yeah. But like I could just think about my mom on when I was getting married, or my mother-in-law, and how that was a big day for them as well. So it's always about just thinking about stringing the emotion, but you have to kind of understand that emotion that's being strung too as well.
Yeah. I'll just give you two surprises away for like
Okay.
niches like that are sort of unexpected. One would be like any dangerous job, truck drivers, roofers, the wives of those people.
Oh, sure.
Right. Same thing with like a guy in the military overseas.
Yep.
Like so we call them line wives and trucker wives. Those are like huge niches, and it's all about, hey, I know I work long hours and it's a dangerous job, but I just wanted to let you know I'm constantly thinking about you all day on the job.
I love it.
Yeah, that was sort of an unexpected niche.
Yeah.
It's like wives of dangerous job workers, if you want to call them that.
But after you know about it, it's like, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
And then the other one was sort of unexpected. Was actually step family. We were doing a little research. I think like 40% of families have step something in them. Step kid, step dad, and so there was this niche called unbiological sister, which is like two step sisters, giving a gift to that person.
Okay.
And so maybe that person, because they're the step, might feel underappreciated. But this is actually a huge like audience.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's not, and just to be clear, it's not about like achieving the cry, but you are, again, back to it, you're solving a problem. Is like, it's how we as humankind, like human beings, we show appreciation. Like you would bring a gift to someone, and it's just tried and true. So that's what you're tapping into. And if you're providing a great product, which I can tell you are, right? I've seen your product up close now. You're always making leaps and bounds. We can talk a little bit about that too, but you're providing a good product and a great message, and people want that. And that's the most important thing I think for sellers to understand, is that you're providing people something that they want. As long as you're following through all the stuff. I mean, the big thing to follow up to is like, we're pushing fast shipping, which you guys do. You're shipping out. We're in the United States, down in Florida, shipping in the United States. Anybody that sells here is going to get that product quick, or buys from here is going to get that product quick.
Yeah, we ship most things next day.
And even international, I think you were telling me you guys have great shipping lanes and rates and times like that too. That's what people want, and they're building. I tell people 70 cents out of every dollar is spent on Amazon, right? On online spending. So whether people know it or not, we're being conditioned to expect things a certain way.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying that you got to have, because I ordered something from Amazon and it got delivered the exact same day, and I was like, whoa, that was nuts. You're not going to beat people. You're not going to beat Amazon on shipping a lot. But what you're following up is a great product, a great message. It's going to be worth a little bit of next day shipping, maybe a couple of days it gets there. So you're providing all these values, and you're going above and beyond. And I think for sellers, and you would back this up, just like you're doing right here with me talking to me, right? Go above and beyond on your store too, and you probably see that from your top sellers, that they're building out their homepage, building out their About Us page, telling a story, having a great email follow-up, and all the other stuff to make sure that they're, taking care of the customer that is entrusting them with their hard-earned money too.
Yeah. I think as far as like building out your own store, I think it's important to have like create products for all those. Look, if you're starting from scratch, I highly recommend starting a family-based store.
Yeah.
Right? Because the addressable audience is everybody. And then you can have, sub niches. You could have the Christian family or the police family, right? And then you can have all those relationships in those niches too. And so I think it's important to have not just all those relationships, but also a bevy of different products. Yeah. So we have jewelry right now, but we're coming out with engraved leather goods, engraved wood watches and stuff like that, metal wall art. These are all things that are great gifts for the family and good gifts for the home too. Yeah. So we're going to go really big into home decor, but not your traditional canvas and stuff that's already been done. We're really diving deep into alternate products here.
That's great. Yeah. And which you're going to again prove, which is awesome too, right? And so you're proving these products and then providing it to the market. It's something that's still super unique, which is cool.
Yes.
Awesome, dude. Well, I really appreciate it, man. I think we covered everything that we wanted to talk about. Thank you for taking the time. It's awesome what you guys are doing here. I love where your head's at in terms of high AOV and unique products. That's exactly where my mindset is. Building people in that direction. I think, you know, you're providing a great platform, which is unbelievably, if somebody's brand new to the market, you guys have a killer platform to get them started. That's what we're telling people is like, understand what it is you're doing, you're selling, you're marketing, your ads. That's a ton of stuff to figure out right away. And then down the road, you know, maybe you can bring the app into the store and then scale with you guys in that way. But yeah, I think you're hitting all the nails on the head, man. So I really appreciate your time, and
Yeah,
it's good
we
to
love
see you.
working with you guys too.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks for coming in.
All right, man. Well, that's it, everybody. Hopefully this is some value for me. Gave you a little peek into what's to come, and as well as why exactly Shine On is a killer product for you guys to add. He's hitting all the nails on the head. Like I said, you know, you're taking care of our customer here. You need to take care of your customer by providing them a solid product from a company that's going to ship right away. It's going to get there in a couple of days with a great product and great packaging too, which is something we even talk about. But that's it. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Take care.